Good day, everyone, and welcome to the STEM Lockdown Digital School. My name is Katlaho Matibe, and I'll be presenting the Grade 10 Life Sciences lesson to you guys. Now, guys, do remember to use my email address at ls.wiznats@gmail.com for any questions that you guys might have, or if you need slides, past papers, or anything relating to life sciences. So guys, as you know, yesterday I had a problem with my internet connectivity. Let's just hope today it gives us a break and everything goes well. So, we were starting a new topic on cancer. So I will repeat that topic today so that we get to finish everything. Okay, guys. Yesterday was really bad. Just pray for us or meditate. Moment of silence for the internet today to just respect us for once at least. Now, at the end of this lesson, I want you guys to be able to define concepts that are highlighted in bold black, to differentiate between benign and malignant tumors, to know the causes of cancer, to understand the different treatment methods of cancer, and lastly, to correct the beliefs and attitudes that may not be valid. Because in our communities, we have a lot of beliefs and towards a lot of things. So I want us to be able to correct some of these beliefs and attitudes that may not be valid with regards to cancer. Now, just to quickly recap, we did this yesterday, and I hope you guys followed. Remember, we were dealing with mitosis, and we started off with the cell cycle first on Monday. So we said the cell cycle occurs in two stages, which is the interphase and the mitotic phase. During the interphase, the cell grows and DNA replicates. And during the mitotic phase, there are two processes which are linked or conjoined. And these processes are mitosis and cytokinesis. We know that for mitosis, it has 4 phases that take place. And these 4 are prophase, metaphase, anaphase, and telophase. So during prophase, we see the nuclear membrane disintegrating and chromosomes starting to become visible. And our centrioles move towards the poles. During metaphase, the chromosomes line up at the equator of the cell, and spindle fibers attach to these chromosomes by their centromeres. During anaphase, the chromatids, remember a chromosome is made up of 2 chromatids. The chromatids of each chromosome are pulled apart towards the poles and the spindle fibers shorten. And for telophase, the nuclear membrane reappears and the cell divides into 2. So that is mitosis, and we know that mitosis is a nuclear division, or the nucleus divides into 2. Remember, a cell divides and it produces 2 identical daughter cells, and these identical daughter cells have the same number and type of chromosomes as the parent cell. And the chromatin material stays the same. We also mentioned the 3 roles of mitosis, which is growth, repair, and reproduction. Hello, Tyrese, you are late, but that's all right. All right, so we have the parent cell. It has 10 chromosomes. And then as mitosis occurs, so after mitosis, we have 2 daughter cells, each having 10 chromosomes. But how? So we have 10 chromosomes, which equals 20 chromatids. Remember, one chromosome has 2 chromatids. So it has 20 chromatids, and these 20 chromatids are divided by 2. Remember, during anaphase, the chromatids are pulled apart towards the poles, and each pole will be an individual cell. So why do we have 2 cells? We have 2 cells because there are only 2 poles where the centrioles are. So during anaphase, we will then get 10 chromatids. Remember, after anaphase, that's what I mean. Sorry about that. So after anaphase, we will have 10 chromatids for each daughter cell. And remember, these chromatids after anaphase are then called sister chromosomes. That is why we are saying in each daughter cell, we have 10 chromosomes each. So these 20 chromatids are divided by 2 for both cells. And then these chromatids will then be called sister chromosomes, and we will therefore have 10 chromosomes for each cell. So that is why we are saying the parent cell gives rise to 2 identical daughter cells, which have the same number and type of chromosomes as the parent cell. So that is how it is. For those who did not get it correct and who were not with us yesterday, who did not get it correct during when we were doing our Kahoot exercise or quiz, this is a form of rectifying you guys or to correct you guys. So if you are lost, you are now found. So we also have cytokinesis, and we know that it is not a stage of mitosis, but the process of the cytoplasm splitting into 2. So cytokinesis is the cytoplasm division. So it differs in both plants and animal cells. And we said that in animal cells, the cell membrane constricts because animal cells do not have a cell wall. And this enfolding of the cytoplasm divides the cell into 2. And in plant cells, because we have a cell wall, a cross wall or a cell wall will be formed by the cell plate, a cell plate in plant cells, which will then divide the cytoplasm into 2, and we will then have 2 cells. So that is what we covered in mitosis. And we started off with cancer. We said cancer is a group of diseases characterized by uncontrolled cell division, which leads to a growth of abnormal tissue. So cancer is a group of diseases characterized by uncontrolled cell division. So remember, leads to the growth of abnormal tissue, which is cancer. Can everybody else hear me? Because Tyrese seems to not hear me. Am I audible? Okay. So it means that cancer is a disease of mitosis because mitosis is a type of cell division. So if the cell division is uncontrolled, then this means that it leads to a disease, and cancer is that type of disease. So it is essentially a disease of mitosis. So it begins when a single cell is transformed or converted from a normal cell to a cancer cell. So cancer cells grow and divide uncontrollably to form a mass of cancer cells called a tumor. So many of you have heard of this term, tumors. Take note of that. So a tumor is a mass formed when cancer cells grow and divide uncontrollably. So as the tumors grow, they squash healthy cells, stealing their nutrients and preventing them from working normally. And we have 2 types of these. We have the benign tumors, and the malignant tumors. So what do we mean by benign tumors and malignant tumors? So for benign tumors, these are non-cancerous cells found at the original site that do not move throughout the body. So yesterday I said these are also cancerous. So benign tumors can then become cancerous tumors. So they start off being non-cancerous, but as time goes, they can develop into cancerous cells. So these are non-cancerous cells found at the original site that do not move through the body. So examples of these, I mentioned fibroids. And then we have malignant tumors. These tumors, they leave the original site. So these are the cancerous cells. They leave the original site and tissues. So I ask you to give me examples of cancers. And you said we have lung cancer, liver cancer, or breast cancer. Those are types of malignant tumors. So how do these cells differ from normal cells? So how do cancer cells differ from normal cells? And other mechanisms, and we call these signals. So when these mechanisms fail or genes mutate, the cells will therefore start to divide uncontrollably. All right, so Tyrese, try leaving the meeting and joining again. Maybe it will work. So try leaving and joining again our meeting. So at first, these cancer cells don't listen to signals, like I said, and these signals are mechanisms or gene mutations. So remember, healthy cells are controlled by genes and other mechanisms. So cancer cells don't listen to these signals, which tell them to stop growing. So normal cells listen to signals from the body to stop growing and dividing. However, cancer cells do not respond to these and they keep on dividing. That is why we said these cancer cells divide uncontrollably. And then number two, cancer cells grow new blood vessels. So as the tumor grows larger, it begins to release proteins from the cell to attract new blood vessels. So blood vessels draw nutrients away from healthy cells and therefore starve them while allowing the growth of the tumor. So these new blood vessels also enable cancer cells to enter the bloodstream and spread to other parts of the body. So the new blood vessels that these cancer cells grew to, they enable these cancer cells to enter the bloodstream and be able to spread to other parts of the body. So for them to become malignant tumors. Remember, we said they leave their original site and spread to other parts of the body. So these cancer cells spread around the body. And another feature of cancer cells is that they can spread around the body like we just mentioned now. So this is just a repetition. Okay, Tyrese? So what we call these is the term given to these cells that are able to spread around the body. We say they metastasize. And we said that these tumors that have the ability to spread around the body are called malignant tumors. So cancer cells can spread to surrounding tissues via the bloodstream or via the lymph system. And they can do that via the bloodstream because they grow new blood vessels. So this is all just interlinked. So malignant tumors are those cancer cells which are able to metastasize. And by metastasize, we mean that they can spread around the body. So this is characteristics of cancer cells. They do not listen to signals to stop growing. They grow new blood vessels and they can spread around the body. This is how they differ from normal cells. And what are the causes of cancer? So all causes of cancer. Oh, guys, remember we ended here yesterday or in our previous lesson? We ended here on this slide. So let's hope we get to finish. Now, as I was saying, all causes of cancer are not fully understood by scientists. But however, it is clear that cancer is not caused by a single factor, but is a result of multiple factors. So it is a result of multiple factors. Factors such as viruses. So viruses can increase the likelihood of getting a certain type of cancer, such as the hepatitis B and C, which causes liver cancer. So if this virus is not treated early, it can then cause liver cancer. And we also mentioned the HPV, which is the human papilloma virus, and we said it might cause cervix cancer in females and penile cancer in males. And it can also lead to throat cancer, so the back of the throat might develop a tumor, and that might be due to HPV. And another factor is that, or is genetic factors. So this one, you guys know that genetic factors are responsible for a number of human cancers or even other human diseases. So genetic factors cause a number of human cancers, such as the breast cancer. Remember, if you have a family history of breast cancer, then you might develop it. So if your mom or your grandmother from either the paternal or maternal side had breast cancer, then you as the offspring may have the likelihood of developing this type of cancer. And another factor is the exposure to agents. So cancer is also caused by the exposure to agents, and these are called carcinogens. So carcinogens are cancer-causing agents. So there's an important term to take note of. You might be asked to give a definition or match on the table of match column A and B. We might give you that definition and this term, so you have to match the two. So know that carcinogens are cancer-causing agents. And we have examples of these carcinogens. And I want you guys to kindly give me the examples of these carcinogens. So carcinogens cause cancer by damaging DNA, which can no longer code for the important regulatory functions of the cell cycle. So they damage the DNA, which can no longer code for the important regulatory functions of the cell cycle. There might there might be cancer thyroids if there are no carcinogens. Remember, cancer is not caused by just a single factor, but is a result of multiple factors. So if your cancer is not caused by carcinogens, it might be hereditary or a genetic factor. But carcinogens, and if you are exposed to these, they can increase your chances of getting cancer. So if you have a family history of breast cancers and you are exposed to x-rays, too many x-rays, then the likelihood of that cancer being present or appearing faster than expected will increase. All right. So they cause cancer by damaging the DNA, which can no longer code for the important regulatory functions of the cell. So they disturb these mechanisms or signals. That is why I mentioned X-rays. So give me examples of carcinogens. I hope you guys have your textbooks open so you can read from them. Refer from them and give me examples of carcinogens. So we have UV light, cigarette smoke, okay, so asbestos products, and I'll give you the others. So examples of carcinogens are radiation, so UV light. Yes, thanks, Israel. So UV light, X-rays or radioactivity, those are types of radiation. Smoking, cigarette smokes, hormonal imbalances, processed foods, pollutants, pesticides, and others that you guys named. Thanks for responding. So those are examples of carcinogens. So we might ask you to give two types of carcinogens, or two examples, not types. So by hormonal imbalance, we mean that, let me just think of an example. Your hormones are not balanced, né? Remember, for men, you have different hormones as those of females. So if there's too much or too little hormones in your blood, then not perform its function, so it will lead to give an simple example. We have the, hi ma'am.
Sorry, your sound is breaking up. I think your internet is starting to give us problems again. Just move your router for me.
Okay.
And then let's start again.
Yes.
Okay, we can continue when you're ready. Learners, teacher is experiencing a technical problem. Just bear with us. There, she's back. Thank you.
All right, so guys, thanks for being patient and for bearing with us. I'm back. Do tell me if I'm still not that audible. All right, so Tyrese, hormonal imbalance is when you have too little or too much hormones in your blood. And if you have too little, then these hormones won't perform their functions properly. All right. So, for example, the female hormones that influence their weight or hair growth, or even during pregnancy. We have an example of these, the progesterone. So, if there's little progesterone in females, then it will influence their body weight or hair growth. So if there's little or too much, that is a hormonal imbalance. So it's not balanced, not as the body requires it. I don't know if I'm making sense. We have many hormones in our bodies. For males, we have the testosterone, and it helps in the development of male sex organs, facial hair, and the change in their voices. So this is as you guys grow up. All right. So if there's a little production of this hormone or a lot of it, it will affect the development of your facial hair or your change in voice. Because remember, when you reach teenage stage, yes, there's a specific amount needed for normal hormonal activity. So if there's less or more, then it affects that. So it affects the normal functioning of your body or of the development of other organs or other parts of your body. So this hormonal imbalance can result or is an example of carcinogens, and it can cause cancer. So what are the types of cancers that you guys can think of? Skin, lung, brain. Yes, Nkosipile. Sarcomas, breast cancer, liver. All right. So this into three. So the different kinds of cancer. Yes, AL, you may ask your question. Should I unmute you or you will type it out? Okay, it's all right, AL. So these are the different kinds of cancers. We have the carcinomas, the sarcomas, and the leukemia. So these three is what we classify all of those that you named under. So for carcinomas, the skin or a Epithelial cancer lining organs is affected by these, your glands and your skin. So 80% of all cancers are carcinomas. So your breast cancer is a type of carcinomas cancer, your lung cancer, your liver cancer. So these are types of carcinomas cancers, the ones that you name. And we also have the sarcomas. So the sarcomas is all your bones, cartilage, and muscle related types of cancers. And we have the leukemia. So that is your blood, lymphatic, and immune system types of cancers. So do you get it, Tyrese? Because you have never heard of these. So this is where we classify all of these. So we classify all of those under that. So breast cancer is a type of carcinomas cancer. And remember, we said cancers often spread to different organs. However, it remains the same type of cancer as the original cancer, and that is simply referred to as metastasis. Remember the malignant tumors. So these cancer cells, they move So cancer cells move to different parts of the body. Remember, I mentioned the term metastasis, or they metastasize. So if you had, you'll see an example now. So if you have a breast cancer and these cancer cells then move to your liver and affect your liver, they will still remain breast cancer. Breast cancer cells to the liver. So we have melanoma. This is a type of skin cancer, and is a type of carcinomas cancer. So skin cancer is a type of carcinomas cancer. So we have this type of cancer, the skin cancer, which spreads to the liver. Then it will not be a liver cancer, but a melanoma metastasis to the liver. So meaning that the skin cancer moved to the liver. So it started off in your skin, it spread to the liver. It will not then be called a liver cancer, but a skin cancer that moved to the liver. You get that? So we name it according to its original site. So this is how a breast cancer looks like. So these in dark red or maroon, these are tumors that are on females' milk ducts or the ducts. So these are tumor growth. Malignant tumors. So these are types of tumors called malignant tumors. Is it common for the cancer to move to the liver? Yes, it is. Remember the carcinogens. The carcinogens, which are cancer causing. So if your liver is exposed to an agent that affects it, and you have a type of cancer, then those cancer cells will move to that damaged organ and affect it more. So it is common for the cancer to move to the liver. Remember, they affect healthy cells. So if already your liver cells are affected, then cancer cells will be more prone to affect it more or devour all these healthy cells of your liver because they're already affected and they're already dying out. So they'll take advantage of that. And also your lungs. So when you smoke, it affects your lungs. So more cancer cells will take advantage of that. So treatment of cancer. How do we treat this? So cancer is usually treated using conventional methods that are based on Western evidence-based medicine. So conventional methods, those are your non-traditional methods, if we can say it like that. However, many people like to use a holistic approach to treat cancer and therefore also use indigenous methods to manage these symptoms. So by holistic and indigenous method, those are our traditional methods. If you were kind of confused, those are our traditional methods. So we have the Western evidence-based medicine and our traditional methods. So types of conventional methods used to treat cancer are surgery, chemotherapy, and radiotherapy. So you may see a term cryotherapy. So CRYO therapy. So this is also known as cold therapy. So it can also be used. So if you see the term cryotherapy in your textbooks, it can also be used in cancer treatment. So for surgery, so surgeons cut out the tumors with a scalpel or laser. So they cut them out. And if you have a fibroid, they can get a biopsy. So that is part of surgery. Then chemotherapy, chemical compounds kill these cancer cells. So most of you have heard of this term chemotherapy. If in your family you had a family member that was diagnosed with cancer, you know that they went for treatment, and that treatment was chemotherapy. So in chemotherapy, chemical compounds are used to kill these cancer cells. And for radiotherapy, doctors use machines, radiation, and injections of compounds and capsules to kill these cancer cells. So that is our conventional methods that are used. Yes. Now, radiation is a type of is an example of a carcinogen that may cause cancer. So in this case, for radiotherapy, remember these cancer cells, we cannot find them. They hide in your body or in your blood, or they're able to hide themselves. So by radiation used as a treatment, radiation used as a treatment, they use like a type of rays or external beams to get to these cancer cells and kill them. So these beams have like a lot of energy that kills them. Remember, it's not a process where a patient has to sit in for many hours for them to kill it. So they just expose you to those certain hours and then you just go back home, or they move you away from that. So if you are exposed to these on a daily basis, so if you work at an x-ray department and you have a family history of breast cancer, so these x-rays may lead to an increase in getting breast cancer. So exposure to these agents, so if you are more exposed to them, then you will get cancer. But they are used to kill off cancer when you are shortly exposed to them. And if you have cancer, they will kill it. But remember, there are also side effects to all of these things. So you know that there's an advantage and disadvantage of using things. All right. All right, so we have like 5 minutes left. So for indigenous methods, that is our traditional methods used in cancer treatment. These include natural remedies like the cancer bush tea and African wild potato tea. So some patients may prefer using these methods instead of the conventional methods. So they do help. And we also have complementary therapies. So these are different
Learners, please stay with us. Teacher has got a problem again. I'm sure she'll sort it out just now. There we
Yes.
are.
I'm back now. Sorry about that. So these are the examples of the cancer bush tea plant and the African potato plant. So you may take those teas as a traditional way of curing or treating cancer. So the beliefs and attitudes about cancer. So cancer is believed to be contagious and you can catch it from others. Remember, cancer cannot be spread from one person to another unless by genes. If you give birth to a person, then they have the likelihood of developing cancer. All right. It is not contagious. So if you touch a person with cancer, you will not be affected or you will not get cancer. It is not contagious, but many people believe that it is contagious. Can help a person with cancer feel better and stay healthier for longer. However, it is not the only factor that determines whether someone will recover or not. So a person will need treatment and not just a positive attitude. Okay. And also there's this belief that only old people get cancer. So although cancer is more common in older people, children and babies can also get cancer. So leukemia is a common childhood cancer. So not only old people get cancer. Another belief is that only females get breast cancer. Unfortunately, breast cancer is more common in females, but also males can get that type of cancer. So also males can get breast cancer, not only females. And others say that only pale people get skin cancer, although skin cancer is more common in people with light skin. Remember, melanin is the pigment that makes your skin dark and protected. So people with dark skin can also get skin cancer. So melanin doesn't protect dark skinned people from getting cancer. And another one is that cancer is a death sentence. So sometimes when the cancer is very advanced, there is not much to be done to save a person, but there are many cancers that respond well to treatment when detected early. So depending on the type and the stage of the cancer, people can survive cancer and go on to live healthy, happy lives. And lastly, if someone in your family has cancer, you might get it too. So, although there are some cancers that are more common in certain families due to an inherited genetic mutation, a family history of cancer does not mean that you will also get cancer. However, if a certain type of cancer runs in your family, it is good to see a doctor for regular screenings. So, the prevention of cancer: avoid smoking, avoid alcohol. So, remember, alcohol affects your liver. So, avoid those because they lead to an increased risk of esophageal, liver, and breast cancer. Have healthy diets, so avoid very processed food or banned foods, both of which contain carcinogens. Have a regular physical activity, so partake in physical activities. Regular exercise improves general health and helps one to maintain an ideal body weight, thereby lowering the risk of many cancers. Sun protection, so limit the exposure to the sun and damage by UV rays, and have regular screening. So cell or tissue abnormalities can sometimes be detected before they become cancerous. So those are your benign cells or tumors. So go for regular screenings. So for ladies, pap smear, go do that. All right, so that is how we can prevent cancer. Now this is your homework. What is the difference between a benign and a malignant tumor? And number two, name 5 preventative measures or behaviors that will decrease your chances of developing cancer. So the takeaway message is that cancer is caused by DNA mutation. So abnormal and uncontrolled cell division results in tumor formation. And we have two types, the benign and the malignant. So tumors affect the functioning of the tissue or organs. So as I mentioned, there are two types, and cancer cells can enter the bloodstream or lymph and spread to distant parts of the body and form new tumors. So we call this process metastasizing, or they metastasize. So cancers are caused by substances called carcinogens, and we have carcinogens such as chemicals, radiation, viruses, and genetics can be the cause of certain cancers. So cancers can be treated by various methods, including surgery, radiation, chemotherapy, and traditional medicines. So guys, that is all on cancer, and these are some of the references I used and other links, so you guys can go on these. Now in our next lesson, we are going to have or do some Kahoot exercises. So that is on Monday. I will not be with you guys. You will be with my HOD, Miss Miki Vermeulen. I hope you enjoy the exercises on Monday. I will see you on Tuesday. And I also have a practical investigation. So go through your textbooks. You will see that you have a research project. You guys do that. You will present on Tuesday. Don't forget, on Tuesday, you're going to present on that research project that is in your textbooks. So do enjoy the rest of your afternoon and enjoy the rest of the weekend till we meet again, same time, same place. And stay safe, guys. Stay safe. Here's your homework. Stay at home, wash your hands, use masks when going out, and stay safe. Be safe. This